Well, we came up here a couple years ago. We came up to work with another farm, and um, we happened upon this place. It was more serendipity than anything. We thought it was going to take us many years to find the farm that we were going to end up on, and instead it was sort of like our farm found us. And so we've been here for 2.5 years, and we've just been slowly kind of trying to feel out what this farm is good at, what we're good at on this farm. And well, I think the guinea hogs became really appealing because we don't have much background in managing livestock, and so last year we started with sheep, and that was going really well for us. But we were realizing that there are a lot of places where we want our ground worked a little more intensively than what the sheep can do, and the size of the guinea hogs was a really kind of appealing thing. They're not going to get to be enormous 800-pound hogs. They're going to be 200 pounds at most. And that was just really great for us because it seemed like a little easier entry point, I think.
Yeah, I lived in the driving factor for us getting the pigs was that this farm used to have about a 3/4 of an acre pick your own raspberry operation, and it's been kind of let go for the last 5 years or so, I would say, and so it was a pretty tangled mess
Yeah.
of a place, not producing well, and for a variety of different reasons, we had decided we didn't want to continue keeping that as like a raspberry field, and we wanted to turn it into more nursery space because we know that our nursery production is increasing. We need more space for our trees, and so, just like anybody else, we're thinking, well, what do? We need to either buy more equipment for our tractor to like actually prepare this ground, because one thing we lack is a lot of equipment, or we could spend some of that money, a portion of that money, and buy some piglets instead and set them out there and do it at a much slower pace, but just let the pigs do the clearing of this land for us. And that's what we decided to go with. And so that's how we ended up with the guinea hogs.
Yeah.
I mean, the other nice thing about using an animal to do the tillage is that, you're not using the fossil fuels, but at the same time, like, they're creating a lot of their own fertility. So they're eating a lot of the roots, they're eating a lot of the vegetative matter, and they're processing that through their gut, and they're putting the manure on the field that is that much more readily available for our crops to go in later. They're eating a lot of the weed seed. They're doing a lot of things that a tractor can't do. They just do it a lot slower.
And they're not taking any inputs.
And that's the beauty of this particular breed. So not only is it this rare heritage breed of pig that's really important for like those historic and like cultural reasons, but the reason that people bred American guinea hogs was that they didn't have to feed them grain. And the one thing we didn't want to do is, buy pigs and then have to buy a ton of feed to put into them to keep them alive and keep them happy and healthy. That's just like buying the gas to throw into your tractor in a certain way. And so this particular breed is specifically suited to foraging. And so they do a lot of rooting up of the soil, so they're going to do a lot of that tillage for us, and they'll eat everything that's out there, and we don't have to worry about supplementing, aside from, scraps that we have in the house or other, weeds and things from the garden, we bring to them. But that's, they're like basically a purely pastured animal.